सभी को मेरा सादर जय जिनेंद्र and good morning to everyone joining us from overseas and great evening to our Indian audience. I welcome you all and thank you all for joining us today on Sunday. It's incredibly inspiring to see so many entries for today's workshop and now seeing so many children. I'm even more eager and very much happy that we taken this initiative. And for that, we are really grateful to Mrs. Minaxi Choksi, our guide for today, for accepting our invitation to teach us this brilliant writing skill. Thank you so much, ma'am. हमारा सौभाग्य है कि हमारी मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में हमारे साथ ब्राह्मी लिपि विशेषज्ञ विदुषी डॉक्टर मुन्नी जैन जी जुड़ी हुई हैं। लास्ट ईयर मुन्नी जी के गाइडेंस में हमने ब्राह्मी लिपि की 3 डेज वर्कशॉप रखी थी, जिससे काफी दर्शक लाभान्वित हुए। ब्राह्मी लिपि के प्रचार प्रसार के लिए मुन्नी जी ने कई वर्कशॉप किए हैं और वो अभी कर रही भी हैं, जिसमें अनगिनत स्टूडेंट्स और स्कॉलर्स ने लाभ उठाए हैं। इनफैक्ट अगर देखा जाए तो हमारी वर्कशॉप गाइड मिसेस मीना चौकसी की ये जो ब्राह्मी की कैलीग्राफी का इंस्पिरेशन है वो हमारे लास्ट ईयर के वर्कशॉप से ही आया था। दैट्स व्हाट शी शेयर्ड विद मी। मुन्नी मैम, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। धन्यवाद हमें ज्वाइन करने के लिए। वर्कशॉप शुरू करने के पहले आई वुड लाइक टू से अ फ्यू वर्ड्स अबाउट आवर गाइड मीना जी, बट बिफोर दैट मैं मुन्नी जी से डॉक्टर मुन्नी जी से आग्रह करूंगी कि वो वंदन गान के साथ इस सेशन का शुभारंभ करे और उसके बाद हमें ब्राह्मी लिपि का एक संक्षिप्त इतिहास बतावे। मुन्नी मैम, आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। आप प्लीज अनम्यूट करें अपना स्क्रीन।
नमो जनानम सभी को। इंद सदवंदियाणम तिहुवड़ हेदे मधुर विशद बक्ताणम अंतातीदे गुणाणम रमोजिणाणम जिद भवाणम रमोजिणाणम जिद भवाणम। हिंदी में भगवान ऋषभ देव के लिए 4 लाइनों की द्वारा नमस्कार करती हुई। कर्म भूमि के आदि प्रवर्तक, मुक्ति पथ के सर्जनहार, धर्म तीर्थ के आद्य विधाता, मुक्ति स्थल कैलाश पहाड़, अंक अक्षर के आदि प्रणेता, असीम मसीह के जनक ललाम, विश्ववंद श्री ऋषभ देव के चरण युगल में सतत प्रणाम, चरण युगल में सतत प्रणाम। जी आप सबकी जय जिनेंद्र रमो जड़ाणम करते हुए आज जैन फाउंडेशन बेंगलोर के माध्यम से एवं अमेरिका से जुड़ी अति उत्साही सम्मानीय मीना जी के माध्यम से ब्राह्मी लिपि की कैलिग्राफी के आकर्षण द्वारा ब्राह्मी लिपि के प्रचार प्रसार का यह उत्तम प्रयास है और इसकी हम सबको बहुत ही प्रसन्नता है। पिछले यद्यपि मुझे जैसा कि अभी कहा गया कि हमने कई कार्यशालाएं की हैं और बहुत सी बड़े बड़े संस्थानों में जैसे कि सांगानेर जयपुर, ग्वालियर, श्रवण बेलगुल, लाडनू जैन विश्व भारती इत्यादि स्यादमाद महाविद्यालय वाराणसी में ब्राह्मी लिपि के कार्य शिविर किए हैं। तो उस समय जो जागृति आई तो लोगों ने यहाँ तक कि पत्र भी हमको ब्राह्मी लिपि में लिख के भेजे। पर पिछले वर्ष जो डॉक्टर फूलचंद जिन ब्रह्मी के द्वारा प्राकृत डिप्लोमा की जो कोर्स कराया गया जैन फाउंडेशन के माध्यम से, उसमें जो हमको 3 दिन का समय ब्राह्मी लिपि के लिए दिया गया, उससे अति उत्साह लोगों में बढ़ा और इसका प्रचार प्रसार भी बहुत ही देश में भी और विदेश में भी हुआ, जिसकी फलश्रुति प्रणव स्वरूप आज का दिन है कि हमारी मीना जी इसको कैलिग्राफी के माध्यम से और इसके प्रति बहुत ही आकर्षण बढ़ाने वाली है। पिछले वर्ष भी यद्यपि आगे भी मुझे एक कार्यशाला करनी थी, पर आगे अभी यदि सब में उत्साह रहेगा तो आगे का जो भी उसमें रह गया था आगे किया जाएगा। पर जो अभी ब्राह्मी लिपि की एक बात है उसमें मेरे मन में रहता है प्रचार प्रसार के माध्यम से कि जणा जणा मणा मणा बम्मी रूपिणा अक्षराण अक्षिणा सुंदरी अंकिणा क्योंकि जैसा कि कहा गया है कि हमारे जो प्रथम तीर्थंकर ऋषभ देव भगवान थे, वो जब राज्यावस्था में अपने गृहस्थावस्था में थे, तो उनकी जो 2 पुत्रियां और भरत आदि बाहुबली आदि 100 पुत्र थे, तो उन्होंने और कलाएं तो सबको सिखाई, परंतु उन्होंने जरूरी यह समझा कि नारी शिक्षा के प्रति उनका जो, उन्होंने हम लोग को एक प्रेरणा दी कि अपनी ब्राह्मी पुत्री को ब्राह्मी अंक कला, अक्षर कला सिखाई और सुंदरी को अंक कला सिखाई। तो इस आज का दिन भी पिता दिवस के रूप में, फादर डे के रूप में है, तो आज उनको याद करना बहुत ही हम लोगों को प्रेरणादायी होगा, दुनिया को, विश्व के लोगों को भी, कि बेटियों को शिक्षा देने के लिए आज हम लोग जो नारे लगाते हैं, बेटी पढ़ाओ बेटी बचाओ, वो हमारे आदि तीर्थंकर ने बहुत हजारों साल पहले यही करके ये सूत्र हम लोग को दिया था उपहार में। तो वो जनक थे ब्राह्मी के, और उनकी पुत्री को जो सिखाया गया तो वो ब्राह्मी माता के रूप में प्रसिद्ध हुई। और ब्राह्मी के जो हम लोग पिता के रूप में जो ऋषभ देव को याद करते हैं, तो उन्होंने खाली शिक्षा बेटी को तो दी, परंतु और 80 की जो शिल्प कला की जो शिक्षाएं दी, उसकी वजह से भी वो हमारे पूरे विश्व के कर्म भूमि के युग के जनक बन गए। और बाद में उन्होंने जो आत्म प्रधान धर्म अपनाया और अपना भी कल्याण किया, परंतु पहले उन्होंने पूरे दुनिया की जगत का कल्याण किया। तो आज उनको इस रूप में भी याद करते हैं। ब्राह्मी लिपि के बारे में यदि कहा जाए तो कई मतलब समय चाहिए इसको, परंतु थोड़े से रूप में कि हम उनको जरूर याद करेंगे। हमारे जो मिस्टर प्रिंसेप थे, उन्होंने भारत में आके शिलाओं पर कुछ अक्षरों को उकेरा हुआ देखा, तो उनकी जो जिज्ञासा हुई कि आखिर ये है क्या, और उनको इतनी जिज्ञासा हुई कि उन्होंने बहुत ही इसके ऊपर काम किया और अक्षर ना अक्षर को सर्वप्रथम पढ़ा। उससे ये पता लगा कि जो शिलालेख हैं वो भारत में जो दान की जो परंपरा रही है, वो दान के लिए शिलालेख लिखे जाते थे ज्यादा से ज्यादा। तो ये भारत की जो मनीषा है बहुत ही समृद्ध है, उसमें उनकी जो बाहुमूल्य सामग्री है उसमें लिपि बहुत प्रधान है, क्योंकि लिपि किसी भी भाषा को व्यक्त करने का सशक्त माध्यम होती है। कहा जाता है कि जो चीजें साहित्य में नहीं मिलती वो शिलालेखों में मिलती हैं। हमारे पूर्वजों ने हजारों वर्ष पुरानी स्वर्णिम अतीत की विरासत शिलालेखों के माध्यम से उत्कीर्ण करवाकर हमारे आने वाली पीढ़ियों तक पहुंचाई, और ये हमारी भारतीयता की अनोखी देन है। इस शिलालेखों के माध्यम से ज्ञान लिपि और भाषा को हजारों वर्षों तक सुरक्षित रखने, जीवंत रखने का एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम था। ब्राह्मी लिपि जीवंत लिपि है। भारत की प्राचीनतम लिपि होने के नाते इसके जो आद्य प्रणेता ऋषभ देव भगवान हैं, उनके लिए ये हम नहीं कहते, ये अनेकों विश्वकोशों में लिखा हुआ पाया गया, और अनेक विद्वानों ने पुष्टि किया है कि ये भगवान ऋषभ देव के द्वारा अपनी पुत्री को सिखाई गई सांकेतिक लिपि है, और जो आगे आज हम लोग लिखते हैं उसी का जो विकास होते होते देवनागरी के रूप में भी लिखी गई। ब्राह्मी लिपि और प्राकृत भाषा एक ही सिक्के के 2 पहलू हैं। तो भाषा को भी सुरक्षित रखा और प्राकृत लिपि को भी सुरक्षित रखा। अक्सर कहावत में आता है कि पत्थर बोलते नहीं, परंतु हम कहते हैं कौन कहता है कि पत्थर नहीं बोलते, बशर्ते हम उनकी भाषा को, उसमें उन पे लिखे हुए अक्षरों को, उनके संकेतों को समझें, उन लिपि को समझें। और यदि हम लिपि समझते हैं और भाषा समझते हैं तो निश्चित ही हम अपने पत्थर हमको हमारे हजारों साल पुरानी कहानी को, उन्नति की कहानी को, अतीत स्वर्णिम अतीत को हम लोग को इतिहास बताते हैं, और जो हमारे अतीत को बताते हैं वो हमारा वर्तमान गौरवान्वित करते हैं। इस तरह से प्राचीन जैनागमों में ब्राह्मी लिपि को बहुत ही पूज्यता प्रदान की गई है और सादर उनको नमन किया गया है। जैसा कि प्राचीन एक जैनागम है व्याख्या प्रज्ञप्ति, उसमें नमो बम्भीय लिपिये के लिखकर हमारी ब्राह्मी लिपि को इतना महत्वपूर्ण स्थान दिया गया, इतनी पूज्यता के साथ नमन किया गया। सम्राट खारवेल का जो शिलालेख है उड़ीसा में भुवनेश्वर के पास कुमारी पर्वत पर जो 17 पंक्तियों का शिलालेख है वो हमारे जैन गौरव का समृद्धि का प्रतीक है और हम लोग को गौरवान्वित करने वाला है। क्योंकि यदि भारत का संविधान लिखा जा रहा था जब, तो जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नेहरू जी थे, तो उन्होंने संविधान लिखते वक्त कहा कि यदि देश का नाम भारत है, ये हमें किसी साहित्य में लिखा हुआ नहीं चाहिए, इसका हमको शिलालेख ही प्रमाण चाहिए। तो शिलालेख ही प्रमाण हमारे हाथी गुम्फा शिलालेख, खारवेल के शिलालेख को हाथी गुम्फा शिलालेख कहते हैं। उसकी 10वीं पंक्ति में भारत बस प्राकृत भाषा में और ब्राह्मी लिपि में भारत बस लिखा हुआ है, तब जाके संविधान में देश का नाम भारत संविधान में सुनिश्चित लिखा गया। तो इस तरह से ये बहुत गौरवान्वित बात है जी कि हम लोगों को हमारे लेखों शिलालेखों को ब्राह्मी लिपि के द्वारा पढ़ लेने पर और उनकी ब्राह्मी लिपि के माध्यम से यदि हम चाहें तो आज साहित्य भी लिख सकते हैं और हमने लिखा भी है। हमने अपने मेरी भावना है, मंगल भावना है, तत्वार्थ सूत्र है, द्रव्य संग्रह और भी अनेकों ग्रंथ के माध्यम से हमने ब्राह्मी लिपि को साहित्य के रूप में लिखना भी शुरू किया है और लिखा भी गया कुछ, और खाली वो प्रकाशन होने की देर है उसमें। तो इस तरह से ब्राह्मी को हम शिलालेखों भर में नहीं पा पाते। हमारे बच्चे ब्राह्मी को सीख सकते हैं क्योंकि इसके अक्षर और इसकी जो सांकेतिक बनाने की विधि है वो जो हमारे बच्चे इंग्लिश लिखते हैं और देवनागरी उससे भी बहुत सरल है। और हम चाहते हैं बड़े बड़े नहीं, बच्चे भी सबको सीख सकते हैं, हमने ऐसा सिखाया भी है। तो ब्राह्मी को सीखने के लिए बहुत मेहनत की जरूरत नहीं है, रुचि की जरूरत है। और यदि हमको इसमें लगन लग गई तो हम ब्राह्मी को सीख सकते हैं। और हमारी जो आदरणीय मीना जी हैं वो अपनी इस ब्राह्मी के प्रति और आकर्षण लोगों को बढ़ाने के लिए जो आज हम लोगों को दिखाने वाली हैं, सिखाने वाली हैं, वो हम बहुत ही रुचिपूर्वक देखें और उनको प्रोत्साहित करें और हम आगे
जी मैडम
के स्मिता जी जो हमारा संयोजन कर रही हैं सब कार्यक्रम का, इतनी दूर से इंटरनेशनल इसको बना रही हैं और हम इतनी दूरी में बैठे हुए हम लोग एक दूसरे से मिल रहे हैं। और भी हमारे साथ जो सभी लोग हैं वो उनको इसमें इकट्ठा किया, उनके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हमारे मिस्टर प्रिंसेप को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जिन्होंने शुरू में जिज्ञासा बस इस सब चीजों को देखा, बाद में हमारे भारतीय विद्वानों ने बहुत मेहनत की, उसमें आगे आए, जिसमें गौरी शंकर झा, हीराचंद ओझा जी भी है। और उनके द्वारा हमारा अजमेर का जो बड़ाली का शिलालेख माना जाता है, जो महावीर बडली का शिलालेख है, वो महावीर निर्वाण संवत को घोषित करता मतलब लिखा जाता था महावीर निर्वाण संवत। तो इस तरह से कहने का मतलब उनकी एक जो छोटी सी कहानी है, परंतु उसका जो उपयोग हो रहा था वो किसान उसमें तम्बाकू कूटता था, परंतु उन्होंने उन अक्षरों को पढ़ लिया और उससे वो लेके अजमेर के म्यूजियम में उसको रखा गया। तो कहने का मतलब यदि हम जान सकते हैं तो कोई भी चीज किस तरह से मिसयूज हो रही है और वो हमारी कितनी बड़ी विरासत है उसको हम संभाल सकते हैं। इसलिए हमको इन लिपियों को सीखना चाहिए। ब्राह्मी लिपि सब लिपियों की जननी है, एक अंग्रेजी और उर्दू को छोड़कर, तो हमें अपने जननी का सम्मान करना चाहिए। और इसलिए हमने कहा जड़ा जड़ा मड़ा मड़ा, जड़ा जड़ा मड़ा मड़ा, बम्बी बम्बे रूपी।
So, ma'am, thank you so much for giving a wonderful speech and introduction and history about हमारे Brahmi script के बारे में. So now, without delay, I would like to start the session, but I would also take an opportunity over here to welcome. I can see हमारे Jain Center of Southern California के जो president हैं मिस्टर मोदी जी, डॉक्टर जसवंत मोदी जी भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं. थैंक यू सो मच सर, योर प्रेजेंस इज वेरी encouraging. Thank you so much for joining and really happy to see you. It's really going to be motivating for us. So without further ado, I would like to give a very short introduction about our teacher Minaxi Choksi ji. Without that we cannot start our session, so just 1 or 2 minutes I would take here to introduce her formally to all of you. Mrs. Choksi has majored in fine arts and graphic design. She is proficient with various art mediums, including digital, watercolors, oils and charcoal, pastels, inks, ceramic, glass, etc. She is trained by master calligraphers from around the world in the last 14 years and has recently taught calligraphy workshop at JAINA, Gujarati and Calligraphy Conventions, Ekal Vidyalay Samkit Group. She is currently the art director of KalaCircle, Jain Center of Southern California, and under her guidance, this division is doing great work. Ma'am, once again, thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and the stage is all yours now.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for the lovely introductions, Mikaji. And thank you, Munni, for blessing our session. And I don't want to delay everyone because I know it's pretty late in India. So we'll start with the basic pen, which I had requested, monoline pen, whatever you have in 0.7, 0.8. And we'll start with the skeleton of the...
Ma'am, could you move your page towards your...
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll do the skeleton letters first. So skeleton letters are just the basic, as it says, the main skeleton of the letter. When I show it, we have sent it out earlier. I don't know if you all have received it or not. So it is the line form. So if you all can't catch up, one thing I would request is you can write the ductus. What is the ductus? Ductus is the direction, what we are going to say. Let's say if I do this stroke first, then you write the one, like that, the arrows, in what sequence we'll be doing. Otherwise it's called direction, but ductus is, it gives you the sequence of what letters will be, how we'll be drawing the strokes. So that is the basic foundation of our letters. So we'll start with that. And so you can pick out your pens, which I had requested. I'll try to do it in my other pen, which is easier for you all to see. So currently, we'll start with the basic stroke, which is the line stroke from up to down. And you can do whatever size is comfortable for you. So if you cannot follow, then at least on the paper, you can write down the sequence of the strokes with the arrows. Can you all see it? So I'll start with my calligraphy pen. So you all will be able to see it better. So this is the letter A, as in Hindi, or letter A in English. So the second stroke, this A can be written in another way also, which is first the stem stroke and a little curve instead of the diagonal strokes. So that is two different forms of letter A in Hindi. Next one, we'll go with again the stem stroke and then the diagonal strokes. You can go from down to up if that's easier for you, or from up to down. But when you go from up to down, then there's a pen angle change, which of course is for the later stage. So this little stroke makes it A. You can leave it open, or you can fill it in. So that is the letter E, which is E in English. The next one, we do the 4 dots, and that's the long E. You can leave it blank or you can fill it up. The next one, again, we start with the stem stroke, and it's another horizontal stroke. How easy was this lettering? Can you imagine? Now it's like how many letters we do. This is the U. O. But O in Hindi is different. So we're not going to complicate it with English pronunciations. This is U in Hindi. Again, the vertical stroke, horizontal stroke, and a diagonal stroke makes it a long U. The diagonal strokes. Oh, sorry. Okay. This is the A. Hindi is very phonetic language, and so is Sanskrit. So we're trying to get it more phonetic, and most of the languages which are more phonetic it's more precise. So we're trying to emphasize our Hindi from here. This was the root script. So we're trying to encourage people to get to our basics, reinforce our heritage, and get back better. If anyone needs little time or something, if I'm going too fast, this one is just a rough outline. So we'll go to the little more detail afterwards on the calligraphy style. So these, as in Hindi, it's called swar, which is the vowels. The next one is a horizontal stroke, diagonal stroke, and a horizontal again. That is O. Again, horizontal stroke, diagonal, horizontal. So I can see I'm echoing, so I'm not talking too much. If you'll need a little space, a little time, please let me know. And that is is the next one. We can do the stem stroke first, diagonal, So we have 13 vowels. Which is called swar in Hindi. So we been caught up? Now we'll go for the consonants. For the ka, it is like a plus sign. Very easy. Imagine how complicated now it's become, with the Devanagari. We had it so simple. This is the ka. Now the ka has few variations. It's like a teepee, a tent, like an upside down view. And this is where I think so it is more recent, I guess, which resembles the current ga. So the ga has a little stroke on it. As they say, this one looks like gadde ka ga, which is like a donkey carrying all the weight on it. So I guess it's more pictorial. This is the ka. Ka has two variations also. So this is stroke 1, stroke 2. You bring it down, and then the middle line. So all these letters were found on the rocks and the inscriptions. So that's how it has been deciphered, and that's how they came to know that this is Brahmi script, which was introduced long time ago. So we can own our script. So as you all know, these are grouped according to the sounds and how they are said. So this is called the ka word, ka division or word. And the sounds in Hindi are how the tongue reaches the palate or the lips or something. So the sounds are different according to that. The next one is a little curved, like the curve what we write these days. Or
Ma'am, can you move your page slightly up, your paper slightly up? Yeah.
Thank you. So the next is like this. It is the cha, which resembles currently the cha. You go the stem stroke first, half a semicircle on the left, half on the right. These directions are important. You make sure that it goes from here to here, from left to right, right to left. Pretty soon when we do with the pen and ink, those directions are important. So this is the cha. Now we're doing the letter J. If you all think why we are doing this, it'll be useful to decipher so many of our texts, because this is the foundational script. There's so much which is not even understood yet. Also, for artists like me, we can take it to a next level. So this first one, I like how they do chairs, you know, the Z. And this is the other letter. Maybe Smita ji can tell me how they say it. The nya in Hindi, I guess.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. Right. So this is the cho word.
Can we also ask questions in between, Meena ma'am?
Yes.
So there is one question which has come like G का तीसरा variation किस शिलालेख से लिया गया है? If you know, you can share.
Oh, it just derived. I guess the stone workers, you know, depending on the stone workers' skills, that's how it was done, and it adapted to the new reforms as the script got evolved. Just like the Brahmi got evolved into so many different families, different classes. So same thing. This has been. It depends on the artistic skills of the inscriber. You know, the ones who engraved on the stone.
Okay.
Our script was fundamental script. So they adapted, whoever adapted, they adapted our script, not we. So this one is a T.
So can you adjust your paper towards the left side of yours so that you can see right from the first line? Yeah. Towards your left. Yeah.
Okay, but then we want.
But then if you're writing below, yeah,
one.
you have to move up. Yeah. So for others to know that I've also dropped this skeleton letters on the group, so Brahmi group. So in case you want to refer from them there, please go ahead. Since she's writing and she's moving the paper up, so of course the placement change. Due to that, you cannot see the first line or the second line.
Okay, so now like the O, the circle, that's a tricky one to get the basic complete symmetry. People have tough time. What I would suggest is go half a circle first, then go in an imaginary as though you're tracing back the route, and then do the right. It'll be easier. Go in one stroke. And when you don't talk, it gets better. So see the difference? And this requires a practice and skills. And even if you just keep on practicing this, you can get a lot of hand balance. So this is the letter T. If you retraced your thing, apparently your muscle memory gets readjusted. That's what I learned recently. So da, I remember as like steps. Letter 1, horizontal, and down to up. I'm sorry, up to down. So that's the letter da. This is a fun one. The next one. Such a beautiful shape. And that's the da, which is very close to the current da. Next one is a horizontal. From up to down, the horizontal again. It's like the capital I, but that is ona. You can even do first the stem stroke, and this is faster. You keep the pen angle the same. Are there any calligraphers so then I can give the pen angles? Are there any calligraphers in this group today?
I'm sure, but I think it'll take time to ask them.
Right. If they are, they can just raise their hand in the in the chat.
Yeah,
so then
we have
know.
one, Akruti ji.
Okay. Okay, welcome. So this is the
we have another one. So yeah.
Yeah, so the pen angle is 45 degrees. So that was the toe word, T, toe. We go to the stem stroke again.
Okay, I'll try taking one question by unmuting an audience. Hope it won't disturb you, ma'am.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
Go
all
ahead.
right. Yeah. Pragna ji, please go ahead, ask your question.
नमस्ते मैडम, ये
नमस्ते।
हम लोग जो कैलीग्राफी कर रहे हैं तो उसका वर्ड हम कहाँ पर यूज करते हैं? ब्राह्मी लिपि हम कहाँ पर यूज करते हैं? Where are we? How we can use this language?
We'll be using it in an artistic form.
It's an
We'll be using-
expression, ma'am. So this is what it is just an expression, artistically expressing yourself. So wherever you want to express in your Brahmi lipi and whatever, you can do it in this way. If I am not wrong, Meena ma'am.
Right. And plus we are trying to revive this script, if possible. Then there'll be so many other people who will be able to benefit. The scholars will be able to research more on it.
And from where we can get such type of notebook and pen?
Oh ma'am, I will let you know. मैं आपको
वो
ग्रुप में
हम
बता
सब बता
देती हूँ।
देंगे।
जी जी, वो आप
थोड़ी
जुड़े
देर
रहिए
बाद।
हमारे से, हम आपको सब बता देंगे।
अच्छा, and
Thank you so much.
You have written ta and tha. Ta it shows like that C. And tha के साथ में 3 round लिखा है, 3 rounds. So 3 rounds is just experiment, or we have to write 3 rounds whenever we write to tha?
So what did you get
Third
it?
I didn't get it. No.
Yeah. So she's saying that the way you have written "tha" with these 3 lines, is this the way we have to write, or is just your own way of expression?
The ta is the circle.
Only circle.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Achha.
And the da is the which is like almost like the current da.
Okay, okay, madam. Please इसका फोटोग्राफ करके मेल
मैम
हाँ,
आपका
भेज देंगे।
या मैम
Yeah.
आप ग्रुप में नहीं है मैम, इसलिए आपको ये ग्रुप में आप ऐड हम आपको जोड़ लेंगे। सारी जानकारी वहाँ पे है। या
Okay, thank you.
थैंक यू।
So this one is the ta. The next one is a little stroke, vertical stroke, and then the diagonal strokes. This is the ta. The next one is our favorite circle. Retrace the path, go back again, and you can get a perfect circle. This time you'll be able to do it better because your hand is warmed up, your muscles are warmed up. So this is the ta. Brahmi is a foundational script for Devanagari and lots of others, Gujarati and lots of other scripts. And once you do this, the other ones will become easier. You find that the other scripts are so complicated compared to this one. So this is like the omega sign, but upside on the sideways. The da. This is my favorite, which I can remember. The like the dhanush, the bow and arrow. Apparently, some of the stone workers, they used to do it differently also. So depending on whether, I guess they must be left-handed or right-handed. I don't know why they did it completely a mirror thing. So even this, when you do, is correct. But how do you do this? And while you're doing it like the first one, you do the stem stroke first and then the semicircle. While on the other side, we do the semicircle first and then the stem stroke. And so this is the the word. This is the na. So the interesting fact, what Muniji had explained in her lecture series, was this letter, the, was the first one to be recognized, and then this na was the second one for the Dan Patra in Jains. So since Jains do a lot of donations, and apparently whatever during those times, whoever must have donated, so those names were given and the Dan Patra was written there. So isn't that a nice one? It's so easy. Look at the letter now. Pa. For the artistic people, the next one will be easier. You do the first, the pa like thing. Do a little stem, curve it down. That is the fur. Okay. There's a little different variation depending on the artist, I guess. That's the second fur. Next one, everybody will be able to remember. Stem strokes. Another stem stroke. Connect them. For the letter B, for box. If one letter we're going to remember will be the nush, and box, we can memorize it already. I don't know in those times why they had so many chairs. Look at this. Another chair. So there was a variation of ba. This is the letter ba.
Also, ma'am, what would you say about, certain letters are looking different when you are writing? I'm getting a message saying that ख को अलग तरीके से लिखा है या आ को अलग तरीके से. What do you, it just like depends on, handwriting to handwriting, or it's, or
Yes, and over the years, you mean from the current my exemplars, or
yes,
is it?
yes, your example.
Oh, okay. So the ka, let me double check why.
Sure, sure. ख and A.
Ah,
Question has been raised by Ashish ji.
acha. There is the letter on this side, right? So that gives the letter ah. Oh,
sure.
sorry. On my exemplar, it's correct. Ashish, you're right. On my exemplar, I did not write. I did not do the thing. Right. This is the correct one. And
The one
what
which
is
is
the
we are showing on screen right now, Ashish.
yeah.
Thanks for correcting us.
Yes, thank you, Ashish. And what is the next one?
K, K.
Okay. There were two variations on the curve. The second one I did not show, but the second one I'll show it. It was just like this, without the turn up tail. Thank you. That's the letter B. So there were two variations on this. The next one is Ma. It's how we write 4 in Hindi, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Then there are variations how you can do it. Again, it's for the ease of different engravers, how they must have used it. This is the Ma. I know you can write Ma, which is very easy. You can do the script like this. And then just add a horizontal stroke. That becomes Ma. So this is the per word. This is year. The next one is also very fun. It's for Rassi, Ra, the rope. So there is a vertical also, if you like, that's our stem stroke in Ra. This is like how we write our cha, but it's more to the bottom instead of the center. And then we do the stem stroke, and that is la. We are doing this a little fast, so bear with me to save us time to do some more fun things. And to catch up on the lost time. So this is the little circle down here. Is everyone caught up? Does anyone need time to catch up? Please raise your electronic hands so we know.
Yes.
This is the year word.
So Ashish ji is asking again about the origin of from where the letters has been taken. So do you have any answer on that, ma'am? So like right now, भ का पहला प्रकार कहाँ से लिया गया है और या कौन से अशोका मौर्य के किस शिलालेख से पढ़ा रहे हैं?
They were found, the shillelagh, the inscriptions were found on the Ashok pillars and the rocks in some of the places. So there are still quite a few places, even Mohenjo-daro and all that. They found out that they are written in Prakrit. Before they thought it was all Sanskrit, so that now they realize that it's Prakrit. So now they were able to decipher, our Jain scholars and all that, they were able to decipher it because otherwise it did not fit what they were trying to translate it.
Okay. Okay. नैन्सी जी आपका प्रश्न है, आप पूछ सकते हैं, अनम्यूट करें। क्या आप अनम्यूट करके आप अपना प्रश्न पूछ सकते हैं। कि नेहा जी आपको प्रश्न पूछना है, आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट करें।
जी जी मैम, ये जो आपने धा का विकास बताया है, धा आपने एक लेफ्ट साइड इन्वर्ट किया है, देन एक आपने राइट साइड इन्वर्ट किया है। इट कुड बी ओनली इन वन डायरेक्शन आई थिंक। मतलब अगर किसी चीज का विकास होता है तो वो एक दिशा में होता है, तो उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताएं कि आपने धा दोनों तरफ मोड़ा है।
हाँ, they don't know, but this is how they were found. There were variations from the engravings. So maybe they were left-handed or right-handed, we don't know. So maybe that was the reason, but that's why it was difficult to find, to decipher
actually,
the
on the
script
previous
also.
classes of Brahmi, what I attended, or the ma'am,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. What I learned from the previous classes was that it is only right words. The English letter D representation is the dha word, which I learned from many of the scholars of Brahmi Lipi. That was in the right hand direction. They have never taught me in left hand, what I think.
Yeah, please look at Muniji's, listen to her lectures. We have the series, so please refer to that.
जी Jain Foundation
Okay,
ने
and one more query is
I'll give
We'll
chance
take
to
your
Neha
questions
ji.
towards the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, one more question from Neha ji. You please go ahead and ask.
मैम, मैं ऐसा पूछ रही थी कि इस वर्ड को, जैसे प है, इसको हाफ लिखना हो तो फिर कैसे लिखेंगे?
हाफ प,
जैसे हाफ लेटर भी आता है ना, ये जो पूरा लेटर, जैसे यॉ को पूरा ऐसे लिख रहे हैं, तो अगर हाफ यॉ लिखना हो तो फिर कैसे लिखेंगे?
That will be in the advanced workshop after Muniji does the advanced lettering. This is just the alphabets right now. Today we are doing.
Okay, thanks so much. The other questions, rest all questions I'll take towards the end. So
Right,
thanks
because
so
we
much.
still have to do the
Yes.
next one, the calligraphy stats.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the sh. There are three variations in the sh also. This is the next sh. This is the sa. So this is the show word. So we have to pay our obeisance to the script because it's a sacred script. So let's say Namo Bambiye.
Can you please move your paper slightly up?
Libier. So this is our obeisance to the script for Rishabdev Bhagwan for guiding us. So we pay our obeisance to our Tirthankar.
Thank you.
So now we'll go to the more calligraphic styles. Get your pencils, the double pencils ready. So what do you do with your double pencils? You level it. And then you put a tape around it so it doesn't move. And if you don't have a tape, you can put rubber bands and tie it up. Make sure they are on the same level, because otherwise when you do this, it won't write properly. And give everyone a couple of minutes to catch up on that. I'll get my paper ready. So once your paper is ready, make sure you draw lines 1 inch apart. We'll do some warm-ups.
Can it be more towards your left, ma'am? Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll teach with the pencil, but just so that you all can see properly, I'll use my other pen, my calligraphy pen, so you all can see it better. Make sure your pencils are sharpened. So what is the pen angle? This is like if this is the 90 degrees. So now we are going to use the 45-degree angle. So you hold your pencils at this angle, 45 degrees. So this is the hand balancing when we do calligraphy. It's very important that you do balance your hand. And all calligraphers, when they're doing this, they always balance their hand, no matter, it's like your daily routine. So so your muscles get warmed up. You'll find initially you won't be able to get the straight lines. This will be like this. It's like the parallelogram. Why we are doing in pencils? Because in case if you all are not ready or you don't want to sharp or anything for the pens, at least this is something doable from your home without any much investment. So this is one of the warm-up strokes. We are going to go a little faster. We're not going to do the full line, but every day you should complete that. The other one would be the horizontal stroke. Usually, why we do this, 1 inch, I just gave you a measurement, an approximate measurement. It's anywhere between 3 and 4 pen widths. This is called the pen width. So this is how you measure. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually it's what it, so like we call it 4 pen widths. So that's why just to make it easier today to speed it up, I just say 1 inch or 2.5 millimeters. You can draw the line. The next one is a horizontal. So you can do horizontal letters. So keep on practicing. And keep your pencil at the same angle. And you can't go any wrong in this script because it's a rustic script. So rustic meaning the little variation it'll have, you don't have to be perfect. So that will be good because it has to look antique. The other one is go up, down, curve. Go up, down, and curve. Next is the diagonal. You can go diagonal this way also, which will be like a straight line. Make it like a pattern. Other way would be, it will be more the pen angle change, which will be like 0 angle. And then just slightly change and then bring it down. And then again, a pen manipulation. When we connect them, then it makes sense, you know, what we are doing. You can go from down to up also for if you want to do the pen manipulation. Next one. It's like a letter S, one side, and the other side would be so we are done with the basic strokes. So let's pull out our 1-inch lines and we'll do the calligraphy. I'll use my other paper. If you'll need time to draw more lines, I'll give you a couple of minutes. If you're a graph paper, you can use the graph paper. It'll be easier, but it's not necessary. So again, as we have just warmed up, we'll go with our vowels, the I, E. So I'm keeping my pen angle the same, but you can keep your pencils the same. I'll do afterwards with my calligraphy pen, so that way you can see it better. So this is your horizontal, vertical stroke. Then you go down. And you can go, if you don't want to change the pen angle, you can keep the same. Otherwise, you can do the manipulation. You go from down to up. And if you can't follow, then at least you write down the ductus. I guess they can see it, so maybe I'll just do the pencil lines. So now this is the and the R. We just need to add that little horizontal stroke. So where do you add the horizontal stroke? It just, you go imaginary here and then you press it. In calligraphy, the dots in the broad edge will become like little diamonds instead of the circle. So that's your E. Same thing with the long E. And you can rotate the pencils because otherwise it'll get blunt on one side because of the angles. Keep on holding the same angle all the time. You can fill it up later. This is the two variations of E. So for the lady who was asking where we are going to take this by learning Brahmi, the artistic rendition I show just after we are done with this, that what we can do with that. This is the long U. Here there's a pen manipulation, the pencil manipulation. You keep it almost to a 5 degree and bring it down. And then bring it again to 45 and connect it. So what happens when you are doing a little shadows and all that, it'll give you nice angles where you can, what is underneath, you can do the shadows if you want to do a little artistic way. And this one, you can erase it. So when you erase it, then you come to know that this is not the underneath shadow. So you need the ones which are underneath to be shadowed. So you get a better idea. This is the A. I. Sorry, this comes after in the next one. Without that, it's O. Now this requires a pen manipulation. And well, this is and you can figure it. You can figure it out. The same way, just add one more dot. I'll give a couple of minutes for people to finish it in case if they're not caught up.
Slightly lower down. No.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we later on share these pages
Yes,
with me
we'll
on our
do that.
group? Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, because there are beginners also with us, so they will
Right.
find that interesting.
Right.
Stick to the
So,
group for a while. So we'll be sharing as she has proceeded, page by page, and we'll share all of them on our group. And later on, in a couple of days, we will also share the recorded version of this session, which you can also subscribe, avail directly through our YouTube channel called the Jain Foundation YouTube channel. And we will also share a link to it for your convenience on the group.
see, when it's written with the calligraphy pens,
Yes,
it'll look different.
very nice. Yes.
So we have given all the fundamentals, so I'm not writing the letters again. What it means in Hindi. Now we are going just
Yes.
straight with Brahmi, so it will
Yes.
save us time.
Yes.
your two pencils will look the same, so just go by it. Like the ones which I did earlier looked. So this is trying to be economical, but still learning until you think you're interested into investing more money into it. I find calligraphy very meditative. And the next, what we can do is afterwards, we can do the words after Muniji teaches us more advanced
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Varmala.
Yes.
Yes.
This is what we were also thinking कि हमारे आज के वर्कशॉप के बाद हमारी जैसी ऑडियंस की जो इंटरेस्ट लेवल है और उनकी रुचि के अनुसार वी विल स्टार्ट मुनि जी की कोई सीरीज नेक्स्ट सीरीज और उसके साथ ही साइड बाय साइड so that we don't have to wait calligraphy ki bhi or something more
Right.
collaborative, something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Sorry, this one is not very clear. So
You also need to move towards the left side. It's just
okay.
going towards the end. Yeah. And for a new person, a newbie, how long it takes to learn? What would you say? Because a couple of them messaging me that it is little hard.
A lifetime. No, just kidding.
I'm sure.
It's how much you practice, and it depends on your hand balance.
Okay.
But the more you practice, you get it. So it depends how much you practice. It's like any skills. So you can be pretty comfortable within 6-8 months, but that's why we took Brahmi. Brahmi is a little more easier compared to the other ones. Once you have the foundation in Brahmi, you can do Devanagari because Devanagari is a little more tricky. So, but for people, it's sometimes easier because they think it's their day-to-day thing, so they can get it. Like, depends how early or how late you start in life, basically it's like that. it's developing the muscle memory.
जी
I have
मैं
kids who did Devanagari faster than Latin script because they were used to writing in Hindi. In the Jain Center, we did it. And I was really surprised. They had little more tough time with English than Devanagari. So it all depends on your creative side, you know, the right side of the brain, you know, how it's functioning. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. No, since हर्षिता जैन जी काफी टाइम से प्रश्न पूछना चाह रही है, मैं एक प्रश्न ले रही हूँ, आप अनम्यूट करिए हर्षिता जी. First raise your hand so that I can locate you. Yeah, yeah. अपना प्रश्न पूछिए हर्षिता जी.
मैम वो पेन का नाम क्या है जो वो मैम यूज कर रहे हैं, मीना मैम?
आप ग्रुप पे नहीं हो? मैंने सारी चीजों की लिस्ट जो है वो मैंने भेजी है. आप ग्रुप पे हो, आप अपने पेरेंट्स से पूछ सकते हो.
Okay, ma'am.
I think this ones we did not send. So if she's asking for this one, the current one which I'm using is called automatic pen. It's nothing automatic about it, but it just says automatic.
Automatic pen, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nancy जी, प्रश्न पूछिए अपना.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
please go ahead, ask your question.
Meena ji, this calligraphy writing which you are writing, this would not give the essence of the past linguistic language which the Ashoka used to carve into the carve into the stones. I think तो मतलब जो उसमें मूल गुण है वो नहीं आ रहा है, फिर वो लैप्स हो जाएगा उस चीज का, तो वो ब्रिज नहीं कर पाएगा गैप. कैलीग्राफी एंड ब्राह्मी, जो ब्राह्मी कैलीग्राफी आप बोल रहे हैं, तो वो ब्राह्मी इज अ पास्ट लैंग्वेज, तो वो मतलब प्रेजेंट में तो पाई नहीं जाती है.
We can do it.
तो
We can. First, you have to know.
और जो इंस्क्रिप्शन, जस्ट अ सेकेंड
Go
मैम,
ahead.
लेट मी फिनिश माय क्वेश्चन. जो पुराने इंस्क्रिप्शंस मिलते हैं, तो वो जो आपने जो बेसिक्स बताए हैं, तो वो उसी फॉर्म पे मिलते हैं. लाइक आज का बच्चा अगर कुछ पढ़ने जाएगा, अगर उसको इंस्क्रिप्शंस में इंटरेस्ट आया, तो दे वोंट फाइंड दिस काइंड ऑफ लैंग्वेज इनटू इट. तो मतलब व्हाट्स द एसेंस व्हिच वी वुड गेट, इसका एक्सट्रैक्ट क्या निकलेगा व्हाइल राइटिंग ब्राह्मी कैलीग्राफी एंड ऑल?
Okay.
तो इट वोंट गिव मैसेज. लाइक मैंने लिखा कमल, आपने जिस प्रकार से लिखा है ये कमल, तो वो डबल लैंग्वेज तो वो पत्थरों में नहीं मिलती, पाषाणों में नहीं मिलती है. ये उदाहरण था कि ये शब्द मैंने बोला. अगर कोई सपोज आज का बच्चा है, लाइक 5 years 7 years, लाइक मेनी ऑफ द यंगस्टर्स हैव जॉइंड दिस पर्टिकुलर सेशन, अगर पढ़ने जाएगा तो वो पुराने मतलब हिस्टोरिकल एविडेंस देखेगा, ना कि वो प्रेजेंट देखेगा. व्हाट आई थिंक.
Ma'am, can I attempt once here? Meena ma'am, with your permission.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
So, ma'am, एक बात यहाँ पे है कि सबसे पहले हमें बेसिक ब्राह्मी स्क्रिप्ट को तो सीखना ही सीखना है. हमें पहले कैलीग्राफी को सीखने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो अगर हमें तो वो पहले आपको अपने बच्चों या खुद को जरूर सिखाना है. उसके बाद ये हमारा आर्टिस्टिक एक्सप्रेशन है, या कोई भी कला के बेसिक को हमें सीखना, शास्त्रीय संगीत हो या नृत्य हो, अगर हमें वो उससे गाना है, किसी चीजों में ढालना है, तो वो कहते हैं ना कि आप पहले बेसिक सीख के आओ, फिर उसके बाद आप जहां भी जिस मुकाम पे ले जाना चाहते हो ले आओ. ये आपके ऊपर निर्भर करता है. तो यहाँ मीना मैम का अटेम्प्ट, ये मीना मैम भी हमारी डॉक्टर मुन्नी जी की स्टूडेंट रही हैं. इन्होंने कई कैलीग्राफर्स, पहले उन्होंने ब्राह्मी सीखा, उसके बाद ही उनका अपना एक्सप्रेशन है जिसको कला के रूप में वो लेके आई हैं. तो आई थिंक द आंसर इज कि फर्स्ट हमें तो बेसिक लिपि तो सीखनी ही सीखनी है, उसके बाद आगे पढ़ना है. होप आप कनेक्ट कर रही हैं मैं क्या आपको बोल रही हूँ.
That's very well expressed, Neeta ji.
So अर्नव जैन जी आप प्रश्न लीजिए.
My doubt was like, has Brahmi script evolved from Indus Valley script, and is there any relationship between them?
Has Brahmi script evolved from Indus Valley script, and any relationship that
No,
you can explain?
they evolved it around us. So we had it developed it earlier. And as a matter of fact, some of the scripts on the Indus Valley, they are finding it's in Brahmi.
And like, how can we practice translation of this script? Like, I've learned the script, but how like we can practice the script by translating? Like, where we will get the inscriptions for translating?
This what we taught today. That's what we are giving you the letters, and pretty soon we'll be giving the next level, which will be the Bharakti.
Okay.
With that, yes. एनके जैन जी आप अपना प्रश्न लीजिए.
अनम्यूट करिए, अनम्यूट.
हाँ जी, मैं आपको सुन रही हूँ, आप बोलिए.
तो ये जो अपने यूज करते हैं पेपर, इसको क्या कहते हैं?
हम जो पेपर यूज कर रहे हैं मैम, व्हाट डू वी कॉल दैट पेपर एज?
This is called the graph paper.
ग्राफ पेपर.
ग्राफ पेपर, ठीक है. अरे जो यूज कर रही है एप्रेटेस पेन वगैरह, ये तो क्या कहते हैं, लेटरिंग सिखाते हैं इसमें आपकी कैलीग्राफी में.
हाँ, ये तो that's what it is. But when we go advanced, then we'll show you that the pen angle changes. Then we can use our Indian nibs, जो इंडिया में जो मिलती है ना देवनागरी के लिए, we can use those. लेकिन इंडिया में जो मिलती है बहुत ध्यान रखना पड़ता है. मैं दिखाऊंगी कि जो देवनागरी के लिए बेचते हैं, लेकिन half the time they sell is Latin one only. So I got a set from India. Half of them were in Latin. Only one of them came in the actual Devanagari angle. So I'll teach, like, let me just show it to you if you can see it.
Yes, yes, ma'am, we can see.
Yes.
Yeah.
So see the angles? See this? This is the angle you need. From left to right. The left is the higher one. The right is the lower one. But in the same set, they sold it to me as Devanagari, but it's in the Latin one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you buy it from Amazon India or whatever, you have to be careful. So I would suggest go to the art store and check the angles. If you're looking specifically for, I'll show it to you what is wrong. See, right now I'm doing, because this is okay with this script. See, this is the Latin angle. This is the Devanagari angle. See, you can find the difference, because when we want to do Devanagari, it is a very good question. See, this is okay. Now look at the English one.
मेरे लड़के की बहू पढ़ रही थी, तो ये कर रही थी, तो मैंने देखा था उनको अपडेट.
See, the angle is opposite. It doesn't even lift properly. Okay. देखा आपने, एंगल चेंज हो जाता है. ये देवनागरी ऐसे होती है, लेफ्ट में जाना चाहिए. but in this one, it goes this way. It goes opposite. आपको दिखाई देता है?
जी मैम.
So, and I got it from the Amazon India, and they sold it to me as Devnagari. But just recently when I started using, and I had such a tough time trying to get this angle. That's when I realized that they had given me wrong angles, even though as they sold it.
जी.
So go to your art stores and make sure you ask for what particular pen you're asking for, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. See, this is the letter A. Right? The angles will completely change when you do it with the wrong nib. So now I'm doing it with Devnagari, it's going to be totally different. See the difference?
हमें ये बुक कहाँ से मिल सकती है, ये जो ब्राह्मी लिपि की?
ब्राह्मी लिपि की तो बुक आप हम मुन्नी जी को बोलेंगे कि आपको बोले, she should publish it now.
जी मैं डेफिनेटली पूछ करके मैं हमारे ग्रुप पे डाल दूंगी, और बहुत जल्द हमारा क्लास भी शुरू होएगा मैम के साथ, तो आप वहाँ भी अपना ये प्रश्न पूछ सकते हैं.
Yeah. See, the other one, I did the stem first and then it came completely wrong. So when you do the opposite, you have to do it, the sequence also opposite. So this is what happens. When I did the stem stroke first, and then I did the curve. Same thing I did here, the stem stroke first, the curve, it's wrong. It doesn't come correctly. So only when you do the, on the opposite side, this you go first, then this first, and then little stroke here is second, and this is the third stroke. So. Now, some of them are saying that the chair and all that we already did. They are pretty much the same, the ones from a little bit before, you know, the Z and all that. So I'm not going to repeat it. If anyone is having any trouble with any particular one, let me know so I can help you with that. Some of the repeat ones I'm not repeating in order at the moment because I know we are going over time. So have we already crossed the time or what is it?
Hi.
All the letters we got, everything. So then I'll just show, you know, in case if people want to know how to do the shading and all that, in case if just a little bit on an O, I'll show you on the circles. Okay. Let's see. What goes underneath, you can do the little shading, so then it will give you a variation.
दर्शकों में से किसी ने रिप्लाई किया है, ये ब्राह्मी लिपि पे एक बुक है भारतीय पुरालिपि मंजूषा. I would request the person to write the publication name also, and after that I will share that same name and the publication overview. Thank you.
So people who want to know where is the artistic side of this, I'll just show it to you just a little bit.
Oh wow. Amazing.
So this is written in
Can you
copper plate.
turn slide upside, I mean the other way around, yeah.
So this is the copper plate, the Latin wax. But this is what we can do. And once it's an artistic form, you can take it to all lengths. So you can find the ma, the na, the da. So you can take it to all different lengths. Okay, we are done. Thank you, the Jain Foundation, for giving me this opportunity to express myself. And thank you everyone for joining us. And thank you, JAINA, for promoting us, and the Jain Center Southern California and all the WhatsApp groups. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for introducing us this amazing writing skills. I would say that it's first of all, it's a skill, and if you are interested in developing skill, it's amazing to learn. Since we are going towards the end, I would take a couple of questions. I will keep the platform open. You can ask questions and quickly, of course. So anyone who has please raise your hands. This is the time now. I will take another 1 minute mostly to take down all the questions. Basically about the book, yes, there is a question. Send the picture of the book on the WhatsApp group. Yes, I will find out first, or otherwise I would request to the person who has written me down that about Bharatiya Puralipi Manjusha book. If you can share with me, I can share with the other audiences. All right, I think as a couple of them have mentioned that it's little difficult. They need to practice. Yes, you need to practice. उसके लिए हम अपने कुछ 2-3 दिनों के अंदर ये हमारी जो इस सेशन की जो वीडियो एडिटेड वर्जन है वो हमारे जैन फाउंडेशन के यूट्यूब चैनल पे अपलोड करने वाले हैं. आप प्लीज उसको सब्सक्राइब करें और वहां से जाके आप many times you can do the revisions and you can learn, understand the expression of Meena ma'am. You know, and you once you learn the basic and you can go ahead and you can express it your own way. So I think yes ma'am, हमारे पास प्रश्न तो यहाँ पे नहीं है, तो we will proceed and we will go finish the session. And उसके लिए before we end the session, मैं हमारे साथ डॉक्टर मुन्नी जी अभी भी जुड़ी हुई हैं, उनका मैं एक बार फिर से हार्दिक धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी मैम आप दो शब्द अगर बोले या अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं मैम अपने आप को, और प्लीज यू कैन या से आई लॉस्ट हर आई गेस। एनीवे उनका प्रेजेंस हाँ मैम
जी,
आपको हाँ
सबको
जी
जनाना बहुत अच्छा प्रयास रहा। ममता जी मीठी का बहुत सुंदर संयोजन किया, इसके बहुत धन्यवाद। और ये आपके कैलग्राफ से आके बहुत लोग उससे जुड़ेंगे और सीखेंगे,
जी
बहुत अच्छा है।
जी जी थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग एंड स्टेइंग विद अस टिल द एंड।
मीना जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बिल्कुल मीना जी आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जैन फाउंडेशन के साथ जुड़ने का और अपनी कला को हमारे के साथ साझा करने का। एंड दर्शकों से अगेन खेद है कि हमें थोड़ी लेट से सेशन शुरू करना पड़ा और आप सब हमारे साथ जुड़े इसके लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। सो इसी के साथ एक नई हम अपनी कड़ी जोड़ेंगे ब्राह्मी लिपि को सीखने की। कुछ ही समय में ग्रुप से बने रहिएगा, ग्रुप को छोड़िएगा नहीं। आपको जो भी अगर हमारा नया सेशन शुरू होने वाला है तो उसकी सारी जानकारी हम वहाँ पे ड्रॉप करेंगे और डेफिनेटली हमें आगे काफी कुछ लर्न करने को मिलेगा। और इस जर्नी को जहाँ हमने पिछले साल शुरू किया, इस साल कंटिन्यू किया और अगले साल और आगे कंटिन्यू करेंगे और कहीं ना कहीं एक बहुत सुंदर सा पड़ाव और इसको अंदाज देंगे जिससे कि हम ब्राह्मी लिपि के बारे में पूर्ण रूप से जान समझ ब्राह्मी को लिपि को जान ले और इसको हेल्प करें इस लिपि को आगे बढ़ाने में और इसके प्रचार प्रसार में। एंड आई एम श्योर the only aim of her is to give define in a different way so that it can reach out to the new minds, young minds, and attract them to do not let go of this ancient lipi जो हमारी अपनी धरोहर है। इसी के साथ thank you once again मीना जी for doing this session with us, and thank you all audiences for being a wonderful audience and so patient with us. जय जिनेंद्र, मिलते हैं एक नए वर्कशॉप के साथ वेरी सून। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, Ramesh bhai.
थैंक्स मैम, गुड डे।